Hello, SpeedGaming 5. Welcome to the No Logic, A Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament of 2022. Oh, this is, should be game 2 of the Yoho versus Fox, I believe. And Yoho won the first match. We should be getting started any second here. I think the restream's just a little bit behind, so... Anyway, so for those who are not aware of this format, no logic, double rods, the items are placed with absolutely no regard for, vanilla accessibility. And we are allowed to do several major glitches to complete the game regardless of that. And there are 2 copies of each rod in the item pool, 2 fire rods and 2 ice rods. So, should be pretty interesting. Both of these runners are very fast. I apologize if this is incorrect, but to my knowledge, both of these runners have a 124 in NMG, which means they have very fast, solid fundamentals of the game, and I happen to know that both of them are knowledgeable about glitches as well. So this should be a very interesting race. And we get immediate divergence. Fox is doing the Link's House start, doing a clip to check the man under the bridge, where Yoho's doing the Sanctuary start. The rich man under the bridge today is very nice. 300 money can be very important in these seeds for potions and bomb capacity upgrades and things like that. And Fox is setting up a swim clip to get to Ice Rod Cave more quickly. And he's going to swim directly into the entrance, so no need for a bomb. There is also a teleport that gets you into the door as well without a bomb, but this is quicker than doing that. Quake in the Lost Woods, that could be helpful or not, we don't know. But if Mire is a crystal and Quake is the medallion, that will be very convenient for our runners. And for those who are not aware, the medallion for Turtle Rock is very, very optional in glitched modes. We rarely see anyone open the front door, although there are a couple of reasons why you might want to do that, but it's generally a waste of time. And we're getting a Death Mountain Ascent from Yoho. This is a clip that takes you into the Old Man Rescue Cave without the use of a glove. It's pretty standard tech in restricted major glitches speedruns. So Fox gets the book and sees that there's nothing on Zora Ledge. So the book is interesting because although it is just merely a fetch quest, the fact that there are no other ways to access the items on the tablets, it means that seeing the book, it means for sure that you can access all the item locations. Some of them might be difficult to get to and require glitches or use of other items, but for the most part, any microscopic chance of the seed being unbeatable is now 0 with the presence of that book being available. Lamp in Tower of Hera. The lamp is an extremely powerful item in No Logic and not for seeing in the dark. It manipulates variables in the game known as the Ensila search index, and that will be used for misslotting, and I will explain more about that later. Oh, a sword, and I'm pretty sure that sword is also dupable, but he's just gonna grab it and not worry about that. Commenting about the quick swap in chat. That is a method to know when you do the door transition in the old man cave. It is faster than using the boots dust, so it's certainly not an uncommon thing. So Yoho's setting up a graveyard ledge descent and unfortunately fails it. That one's can be a little tricky. I still mess it up once in a while, even though I know it. For that specific kind of descent, you have to hold it down left, then switch to up left while you're falling, and then once you have fallen, you have to switch to up without letting go of the D-pad. So it looks like he's changing his method. He's going for the teleport, which I think is harder, but if you're fast and you know the cue, it's a good way to do it. First bottle in Graveyard Ledge. So bottles are very important items for glitching. So one of the most common glitches in No Logic is a YBA or Yuzuhara's Bottle Adventure. So by drinking a potion on the same frame as a screen transition, that can have a variety of effects. But the main one is that it is basically transportation. They can access other areas or other rooms that they wouldn't be able to reach otherwise. So seeing the first bottle is most likely a relief for Yoho. There's only so bad the seed can be if the first bottle is, like, easily available in the light world. It could still be annoying later, but even though they already had a large amount of the game accessible to them, they now have an even larger amount. Meanwhile, Fox is doing the Kakariko checks, and it looks like so far didn't really find anything. The mushroom may have potentially had some significance for a meme technique of setting the index called ledge pog, but the lamp is easily available, so I don't think we're going to be seeing ledge pogging this seed. Okay, Moon Pearl in the back of the bar. So that's an interesting find. It's by no means required, but it makes doing the Dark World overworld like as free as it gets, pretty much. There's certain places they, wouldn't be able to go, like Hammer Pegs, but it's interesting when you get the Moon Pearl early in No Logic, because if you choose to do those checks that are made quicker by doing the Moon Pearl and you don't find anything, it's an extremely large waste of time. But even if you don't waste your time on a lot of overworld, it is convenient for accessing dungeons and other things. It's just faster to do things with the Moon Pearl. Yoho gets a free red potion in the waterfall, which is very nice. Oh, the book was in Link's house. I missed it. I knew it was somewhere on Fox's early route. Okay, so we're gonna get our first look at the green pendant info on Yoho's side. Green pendant ice. The ice is not horribly difficult to deal with for the most part, so I don't know. I don't know what the runner's thoughts about a green pendant ice would be. That's not particularly good or bad, at least in my opinion. Like, in this mode, I would think that you normally want, like, Mire or Swamp or maybe Eastern to be a pendant. But those dungeons can be some of the most difficult to tackle depending on the items you have available. Eastern to a slightly lesser extent, but it just depends. Fox is doing a bomb juke. This is going to take him to King's Tomb, and he gets it very quickly. The principle of this trick is by picking up an item in a door and pressing out of the door, it moves Link a certain amount of pixels, like, at once. So, because he's not walking normally, it doesn't trigger the transition. So Fox is then able to approach the transition from the other side, and it takes him to a different room. And so in that case, the room is King's Tomb. And the Fox is doing the same Death Mountain ascent that we saw from Yoho, also known as a DMA. Oh no, Yoho taking an unfortunate death in Mini Moldorm Cave. It's not the steepest of time losses, but I imagine it doesn't feel good. I didn't see what happened, but it's possible that he, like, tried to dash into the Moldorm and got, like, a frame rule or something silly. Like, A Link to the Past is kind of funny, because there's some situations where you literally, no matter what you do, you're just screwed, but I didn't see what happened to Yoho, but regardless, he's back. So Fox is gonna get his lamp in Hera. Yoho is setting up the same bomb juke we saw from Fox. Gets it. Not sure what that was. Maybe bombs? I don't know. Well, Fox has clipped from Hera into Dark Cross. This is an interesting decision to do this early and without the mirror, but he has low health, so he can death warp out if he still wants to continue on the mountain without ascending again. Half magic is a very comfy item to have. Fox is also not thinking about duping the sword, but I'm fairly certain that you can dupe that, because I've duped the floating island, so, like, when it was a sword, like, multiple times, so I'd assume it's similar, but it might not be. The damn sunken item is also another item that's easy, very easy to dupe if you have a bottle. Alright, Yoho going up the mountain into Hera to correct the camera. Probably gonna go, oh no, maybe not. Excuse me, I'm not sure where he's going. Ether tablet check. Just did GT small. I think we already knew that though. from Fox. I could be wrong. Yoho's gonna follow into East Death Mountain as well. A big key of pod is interesting. It is one of the 4 cave state big keys. Don't think he really found anything else interesting there. The blue mail is probably more of an inconvenience than a help. Maybe less because he has the moon pearl, but I would still argue that it's kind of annoying because there are other reasons you might want to be able to die. Not sure what Fox is trying to do. I didn't see if he's screen wrapped or not. If he's... Okay, he is screen... or he's not, no, because it's... Yeah, I think he's doing this wrong, whatever he's trying to do. Oh no, he just was in the wrong spot. Okay, so this is a super jump, and this is going to take him to South Dark World. I wasn't sure if he set this up right, because I didn't see, like, how he started the trick, but yeah, so if you do a screen wrap and don't correct the camera, and then descend the mountain, and then jump off the mountain twice like he did, then it takes you to the bottom of the map, actually. And he went into Swamp to correct the camera, and now he's in South Dark World. This is probably a hype cave play into the bomb shop for information. We'll see how much the overworld he wants to do, because like I said before, like, these checks can be valuable if there's something good there, but if not, the overworld can be a very large waste of time. A bow is good. Meanwhile, Yoho clipping into pod from Spectacle Rock Cave. Missed what big key that was. But the bow is a very good item. It can help out with glitches, and also it can just be good for its intended purpose as well. Pod and Desert are 5-6, which... It doesn't matter that they are red crystals, but just knowing that they are crystals is good for our runners. And the Fox is going to set up a funny auto walk thing to get past the hammer pegs. When you activate a screen transition while you're standing on top of it, you get an auto walk. And like you said, when you get the auto walk, the game just will walk you through like collision and obstacles, like totally ignoring them for whatever reason. Looks like Fox is trying to set up a swim clip to Pyramid Fair. He needed to go a little higher up there to get the fake flipper. Meanwhile, Yoho is exploring pod in Cave State, and the reason he's in Cave State is because he entered by clipping through from Spectral Rock Cave. So the game... Okay, Hammer is interesting. So the game only sets or assigns a dungeon ID when you enter through the front door. And since Yoho entered from a cave by clipping through the wall, this is a Cave State dungeon. So when you're in Cave State, you have 255 small keys, and him having one of the 4 Cave State big keys allows him to open big key locks, such as the doors and big chests. So he can just loot the place, and this specific clip that he did wraps the entire underworld map, so there are no sprites. There are no enemies to bother him. Well, it looks like that was the TR big in Hype Cave, that can be definitely one of the better big keys to have, even if TR is a pendant, because if they don't have Samaria, one of the easiest ways to get to Agatsu involves traversing the middle of Turtle Rock and getting to the room south of Crystal Roller to do a YBA to Agatsu. So that key is useful to have. So Powder and the Hammer in pod so far. The hammer is a good offensive item. GT Big, that's another cave state key. Also can be helpful if you do GT in GT state, or at least the basement. I would hope that they're not going to climb. I don't think we'll see that. But the hammer unlocks checks in a convenient and traditional way. It's never required, but it's a nice weapon, and it makes certain things more convenient. Another big key, this time Eastern. Eastern can be one of the more helpful big keys to have. Is that it's fairly common, I would say, to see the Eastern big key used in Mire as well. Master Sword in pod, that's nice. And Fox is also in pod, so you're gonna get all the same stuff. Although Fox has not done the Graveyard Ledge check, so does not have a bottle yet. So we haven't really seen too much glitching aside from just overworld glitches with boots and things. Although I suppose we did get the door juke to King's Tomb, but it's still early. So Yoho has reloaded pod. And right now he's setting up a glitch called Statue Drag to Helmsor. By storing this statue pulling animation, it can allow you to bypass transitions or juke them, as we like to say. By taking damage before letting go of the A button, the statue pulling animation is stored, and then pushing the statue with the sword out. They reset the dungeon. Then Yoho is going to place 2 bombs. And the second bomb, well, both of them actually, are going to put him in a very specific position if he does it right. And he did, very nice. So that's allowing him to bypass this transition. So he's actually traveling south through the underworld map. But since the camera is messed up, he's going to have to manipulate the camera and use the switch to open the door. And he's going to end up inside Helmosaur's room. Fox is doing the same thing. They're both going for Helmsaur. But Fox knows this is a crystal. Yoho is going to be pleasantly surprised. Though Fox did not get the hammer out of the right side, it looks like, so he's gonna have a more annoying fight. Certainly not, you know, he's certainly capable of doing it, but you saw how fast Yoho did that fight with the hammer and spin speed. But Fox is gonna have to use bombs and the Master Sword. Or he could use the bow if he wants to as well. It's the same number of hits as the Master Sword slashes. The first crystal on the board for Yoho at about 23 minutes. I apologize if there's been anything in chat that I'm missing. I use my phone to read chat, and my phone's having issues right now. So Fox into the Helmsaur fight. It's the first phase down. Meanwhile, Yoho is setting up a wrong warp to Hera and accidentally drinks the potion instead of performing the glitch, which is unfortunate. Change it. Okay, change the plans. So Yoho is now setting up a quadrant glitch. The result of this, if he succeeds, is going to be to go to Hookshot Cave. And I know Yoho can hover, so this is a pretty good play for him. He can also buy a potion on Dark Death Mountain and use that to go to GT if he wants to. So Fox also gets his first crystal. And now gonna check the right side. I don't think that was good. Yeah, Yoho is gonna try again. So the idea is that you stand on a certain pixel. So for this, it's the X pixel that matters because of the way he's setting it up. But when you release a sword spin on the same frame that you clink off of the turtle, and you're standing next to the invisible line that divides the room, it sets up the quadrant glitch, which what that is it desyncs you from your coordinates. And since Pod is laid out in a very strange way, it allows you to travel through most of the dungeon without doing a east-west transition. So when he finally gets to the room that Fox is in, he's going to be able to go to Hookshot Cave. Fox is trying to do the same thing, but in a different way. This is a door juke, but it's just more difficult than the one we saw earlier because it's an auto door. So Fox only has a limited number of bombs to do this, so it needs to be fairly quick about this. Having a little bit of trouble, and meanwhile Yoho is into Hookshot Cave now. Oh, Fox, not successful. Let's see what he decides to do here. He's gonna grab the bomb, I think. Oh. Looks like he's going for the quadrant glitch. Okay, Yoho is into Hookshot Cave, and he's hovering. Red mail, not the greatest to get early. Yoho doesn't know that the Moon Pearl is just for free in Kakariko, but there are still other reasons why you might not want to have mail upgrades. But Fox is giving up on the Hookshot Cave play, which is, well, so far hasn't shown anything valuable. Not sure how Fox feels about hovering and his comfort level with that. Oh, Flippers, okay. Flippers, if Swamp is a crystal, Flippers is a massive find. So Yoho is able to explore the mountain even though he doesn't have the Moon Pearl because since he started out on a Light World screen, West Death Mountain, and went into Spectacle Rock Cave, then clipped to Pod, then quadrant glitched to Hookshot Cave from Pod, he never did a world transition. So as far as the game is concerned, he's still actually in the Light World, and it's not going to check if he has the Moon Pearl or not. So as long as he doesn't transition screens on the overworld, he will be able to explore this screen. It will load the light world if he does transition, though. And right now, he's doing a screen wrap to get back to the top of the mountain. This is going to take him to the back door of Hookshot Cave. And since he just bought a red potion, that tells me he's going to do a YBA to go to GT from here. I believe he needs to... Oh no, he has red mail. He did take damage. You can't see the quarter heart of damage from the bomb when you have red mail, I forgot. So... Yoho is now in GT, but in cave state. And you can see, because of that, there's no ice tile set, and the Armos in water have very strange physics. And Yoho also does not have the bow that Fox found. I believe that was in Kakariko as well, I'm pretty sure. Okay, he's checking his menu. He doesn't know what items he found. Yeah, I'm not sure what items he found. Okay, I apologize again if I'm missing anything in chat. I think that my phone issue is resolved. Hopefully there are other runners in chat that could have answered any questions anyone may have had. So as I was saying before, though, if Swamp's a crystal, the flippers are a huge find. Because you can skip the flipper requirement for Swamp in a variety of ways, but getting the crystal without the flippers is either difficult or time-consuming, or both, depending on how you do it and your level of comfort with what is required. Oh, another bottle is good. It gets it, unfortunately, after leaving the back area. I guess he could go back, because he... Oh, I know what he's gonna do. This is great. That bottle being there is really awesome, because he can go back to the room he was just in. I believe it's called the meetup room. Before... The one that connects to the room with the big chest and the room above Ice Harmos. If you do a North YBA in that door, or a North Samaria that he conveniently just found, you can dupe the Hope Room Super Tile, so he could get another bottle right now if he wants to. Although he might be less... I don't know. We'll see if he does it or not. Finding Samaria may make him less inclined to dupe the bottle again, but the fact that it came with a red potion in it already was extremely convenient. And meanwhile, Fox is exploring Eastern. He's doing a door juke to get to the big key chest more quickly. Oh, another bottle is here. And he saves and quits immediately. That's interesting. Oh, meanwhile, Yoho continuing to explore GT, going to Rando Room. I wonder... I don't know. I'm not sure what he's going to do. He could dupe the bottle like I suggested. He could also do the right side as well if he wants to. That bomb jump is very difficult to do with the lamp instead of fire rod, but it is an option. I'm pretty sure Yoho's better at it than I am, but it is kind of obscure tech though, so I don't know. Cape is a good safety. Okay, he's leaving. He doesn't care about duping the bottle and doesn't care about right side, which is fine, but I find it interesting. So Fox is back into the dark world. I play Dig Game. Yoho going to the potion shop. And making use of his new flippers. Fox is digging quite hard. He gets an ice rod. I think that was... I don't know, I think had a little bit of issue with the restream, at least on my screen. I'm pretty sure that was the ice rod. Oh wow, yeah, Yoho has the flute, huh? That flute is a convenient item to have. Yeah, the longer the seed goes on, the more potential that has to save you time. Fox doing some nice little teleports to bypass the MITS requirement to go north. We see Thieves Town is a crystal on Yoho's side. Fox, I'm pretty sure still, or actually no, Fox did go to Saha, I'm wrong. But so both know the Green Pendant is Ice Palace, which means that we're not going to see Ice Palace unless they get very desperate. I don't think that's going to happen. Yoho's setting up a fake flute, it looks like. This is an overworld YBA. They use a blue potion on the screen transition on the same frame. And he can flute in the Dark Worlds. And this gives you a Super Bunny state, and you can use that at a tree pole location to activate Link state. So this is a temporary Link state. Once he enters entrance and goes back to the overworld, he will be a bunny again. Excuse me. Oh, right, the bow was in Hype Cave, right? And the big key of Turtle Rock. This feels kind of bad, knowing that the Moon Pearl is just for free in Kakariko. But I don't fault Yoho at all for these decisions, because there are so many seeds where the Moon Pearl is just not available, and you do not get punished for just going straight into the Dark World without clearing the Light World. But he's not going to go too far, though. Just gets his information that we already knew from Fox's side, a pod and desert as crystals. That flute has to bring him towards town, I would imagine, but maybe not. And meanwhile, Fox is into Thieves Town. It has all 3 medallions. And making good use of having the Thieves Town big key, because it definitely is faster to clear this, like, the vanilla way, if you have the front door access. But typically we see Thieves Town done from either top down or bottom up, because there are other ways to access the dungeon from the middle rather than the front. Okay, it looks like this is going to be the Kakariko clear for Yoho. So he's going to get the Moon Pearl. I don't know if there was anything else that was that helpful. Oh, nope, he's not. Come on, activate the flute. Yeah. So, looks like we're getting a desert play from Yoho. And meanwhile, Fox into the blind fight. I guess we're not... I don't know. Maybe Yoho just wants to clear out this area of the Light World first, before he goes to town. Oh, that was the mirror on blind. Oh, very nice. That's an extremely helpful item to have. It's not the most powerful item for glitching, but it has a large variety of uses. And if nothing else, it is just extremely convenient, even for its intended purpose of fixing your world state or just warping back to the start of, or the entrance of a dungeon. It can make a lot of tricks a lot more forgiving. But I'd imagine we probably are going to see some mirror wraps or mirror doors or maybe some mirror clips as well, but maybe not. A sick kid check from Fox. And just a compass. Alright, Yoho into desert. A magic bat from Fox. Just a pod small. Meanwhile, we're getting a North Samaria transition corruption from Yoho, and unfortunately does the wrong inputs and gets stuck in the wall. That's very unfortunate. So, as you can see, the goal of that was to go to the Thieves Town attic, and that would have saved time by allowing him to bomb the floor. He also could have stole the key. Since you won't need that key anymore in Thieves Town, you can use it as a desert key, but the thing about that particular transition, I think he took it low enough, but the problem is the way this game works when you're clipping or whenever you're inside of collision, if you push the direction into the collision, so in his case it would have been up, the game usually tries to force you out of the collision, so if he pushed down instead of up, it would have forced him deeper into the collision, unfortunately. And I think that's what happened. It's a simple mistake to make. It's, you know, it's a race. You're trying to go fast. It's certainly understandable. It's just unfortunate that all of that time he just had to waste running back and forth. And you know how Fox also in desert, but going straight for the boss, though. Fox can either use a potion or the mirror that he has to access the boss. And Yoho successfully getting into the hallway this time. Okay, Fox has the mirror out, and he has stolen the key from the back, so I think we're about to see a spin mirror door. Yoho has stolen the key, and he's death warping back to desert. Okay, so Fox has to bomb himself onto the transition. Oh no, he's not doing the mirror. The spin YBA works too, and it's actually much quicker than the mirror door. But he had the mirror out, so I was fooled. And he knows this is a crystal, so it's definitely progress. Wait, he mirrored out without taking the crystal, and there are a couple of reasons why you might want to do this. Or mainly just one. The crystal gives you a warp. If he collects the crystal, the desert crystal, but in another dungeon, but while in desert state, regardless of that, it will warp him to wherever that... Okay, sorry, I'm explaining this really poorly. But if he goes to Swamp and kills Argus while in desert state, it will warp him to the front of Swamp. That's the most common example. And meanwhile, Yoho has done an East Samaria transition corruption in the door that he unlocked with the stolen key, and he's now in Swamp. Big key to Hera is nice to have. Certainly not required, but it's convenient. And meanwhile, we're getting a blockbuster from Fox, it looks like. I didn't see where he got the glove, but, to answer a question in chat, The Yoho could have got to Argus in a number of ways. He could have simply swam to Argus. He could have done the Death Hole from Desert as well. And Fox succeeds at Blockbuster, and he's now in Hammerpacks. Unfortunately, there's just a compass there, but I'm sure that he is proud that he has, you know, succeeded. Yeah, without the knowledge of Swamp being a pendant or crystal, it does kind of make sense why Yoho wouldn't want to do Argus. And especially not having the Moon Pearl, putting it off till later, even if he has to do it, is valuable. Because he doesn't know that Moon Pearl is free in this seed. But I would actually argue that the Samaria that he has is better than Fox's Moon Pearl advantage. You know, there's so many things you can do with Samaria. It really is an incredible item to have. Okay, yep, Moldorm is down on Yoho's side, and it is a crystal. A Hyrule Castle for Yoho, it looks like. Or this could just be an Uncle Chuck and a Thieves Town play, I'm not sure. A Fox picking up the GT Small on Ether Tablet, and Yoho gets a Desert Small in the Uncle Secret Passage. Map of Swamp on the Uncle, that's a really good find. Maps are really important. Some people skip them, but I don't understand why. Knowledge of the crystals and pendants, there's just no way that that won't help you. I mean, it can lead you away from certain items if good items are in pendant dungeons, but I would think that you still would want to know what you have to do to complete the seed. And we're getting a rare Spike Cave check from Fox. Not rare from him, but rare in general in this mode. And this is a clip to GT, so Fox is going to get Samaria very shortly, and he's going to get a bottle in Hope Room, and well, it'll be interesting to see if he dupes the Hope Room bottle, because for him, it's going to be really fast to dupe it, because he can just dupe it and then mirror to the front and pick it up. And he's not going to dupe it again, but I was thinking about it, though, like, the possibility of someone doing that. It would be really slow, but that bottle is just so dupable. But, Tam, you have to forgive him for checking Spike Cave. Did you not see the blockbuster he did? I'm pretty sure he did it for you. So Yoho's completing his blind fight, and he's done a glitch called LSD Blind to keep the door open. Since he's in cave state, he needed to do that to not be trapped in the room. And gets his mirror off of the fight. And Fox getting his Samaria. They're probably very happy to see that. I really hope that Fox dupes the bottle, even though it's not necessary by any means. It's a fast to do it, I think. When I started playing No Logic, I was looking at, like, documents online, and Malmo has a checklist of things to learn, and on that checklist is the Hope Room Super Tile dupe. So I missed where Fox got all those medallions that Yoho doesn't have. It must be on Village of Outcasts, like Overworld. Or maybe in Eastern, I'm not sure. I know one of the bottles was in Eastern, in the big key chest. That I definitely saw. But Yoho picks up his crystal for Thieves Town. Oh, we are tied on crystal counts. Although Fox does have Landmo defeated, although he does not have the Desert Crystal. So Yoho is taking advantage of the fake Dark World to explore the Village of Outcasts without the Moon Pearl. I would have to imagine after he does these checks, he's gonna screen transition, which will take him to real light world, and then do the Kakariko checks, which will allow him to activate his flute and get the Moon Pearl in the back of the bar. But maybe not. The medallions were both in Eastern. Okay, yeah, for some reason, I don't know, I was not focused on Fox at all, and I missed his clear of Eastern except for the end. Do you remember if either of them were on the boss? Because Yoho might not do that if that's the case. His shovel in GT, I missed that. And Fox is not duping the bottle. I don't know why I'm disappointed by this, but because he doesn't need it, but I just think duping items is cool, especially helpful items. Okay. But I am a little bit fixating on these medallions, but if Meyer is... I don't know, I'd imagine Yoho will get them if Meyer is, I mean, he might not, though, but if Meyer is a crystal and the medallion is Bombos or Ether, that is an advantage for Fox, because there are several ways to access Meyer other than the front door. One of the main ones is through Eastern, but there are two other ways that have their own advantages and disadvantages as well. Because Eastern takes you to the front of the dungeon, but you can also cave state Meyer with an overworld conveyor, and you can also do Meyer in desert state, which he also has the big key for, so I'm not sure how Meyer would be routed if they need to do that. And we're getting this obnoxious bomb jump, Fox. Yeah, I respect it, but this is just way too annoying, in my opinion. And you can see why. And the longer it takes him to do this, like, the more he needs this to pay out. The only thing he could really possibly need is the fire rod, but we don't know if that's a fact or not yet. I'd say it's pretty likely because we know two of the pendants, it looks like. But the fire rod is not required for Skullwoods, though. And he gets a fire rod, of course. Cool game. The Fox has to be in go mode now. I mean, most people would prefer to have hook pushing, but this is a race. I'd imagine he has to just go for it. But he has 3 medallions, so Meyer being a crystal wouldn't be a problem. Yoho's main advantage at this point is he needs to hope that Swamp is a crystal. Oh, we know Swamp is a crystal on Yoho's side. I didn't know that. Okay. So Swamp being a crystal and Fox not having the hook shot is very, very interesting for this race because I'm not sure about Fox and hovering. But the flippers were in the north chest in Hookshot Cave, so I don't know, do with that information what you will. It could be important. Oh, if Fox is struggling without flippers in the Meyer area. I apologize if there are photosensitive viewers. Fox is not pressing the X button to eliminate the annoying rain state that is loaded incorrectly. Or I shouldn't say rain state, that means something else in this game, but the rain from Meyer gets loaded incorrectly when you use an overworld glitch to get into the area. And we see that Meyer is Quake, so that is not going to hurt Yoho at all if he never gets the other medallions out of Eastern. And knowing that Ice is a pendant means Bombos is not going to matter. Unless the other Fire Rod is like on Cold Stare himself or the Freezor room. As for those that are not aware, you do not actually need the Fire Rod or Bombos to enter in Ice Palace past the first room. There are like 2 simple clips you can do, either one, to bypass the first room. Anyways, Yoho into Skullwoods. We're gonna check some items here. Meanwhile, Fox is getting the rare sight of exploring Meyer in Meyer State in No Logic. And actually has the big key for it as well, and Samaria, so this is gonna be a pretty boring dungeon clear. And he is go-moding. It looks like he's going straight for the back, just doing a couple of checks on the way. And no knowledge of the pendant or crystal information here, though. I didn't notice that Yoho skipped activating his flute. I think either way is fine. He's close to an hour into the seed, so maybe he thinks that the cutscene isn't worth it. It is a fairly long cutscene, and if he doesn't have to do too many potion shop trips or other overworld traversal in the light world, it might not matter. And we see that he's done a West Samaria. The purpose of this is to dupe the key that you see he's getting. And as to why he's duping this key, my guess is he's going to use it in Swamp. And he's duping it again? That's interesting. And meanwhile, Fox, you know, 124 NMG runner, having no trouble with this Tempered Sword Vitreous fight. And Meyer is a crystal, so Yoho is not going to be punished for not exploring Eastern and getting those medallions if he never does that. Although he doesn't know that it's a crystal, but he does have the medallion at least. Alright, so what we're gonna see now from Yoho is called a spin Samaria. He's gonna release the sword spin, like, immediately, like, after pressing up to do this north STC. And this is gonna take him to Swamp if he does it correctly. And very nice. That isn't the tightest timing, but it's not frame perfect, but it is tricky to do that. Although having the mirror failing it would not really have cost him anything. But so now he's in Swamp and he's unlocking doors. Meanwhile, we see Fox is setting up a Death Hole Argus. So he does a North Samari in that door, which creates invisible, what we call STC pits. And that map was not an accident. It helps you maintain visibility. So he places a bomb and falls in the pit. It sets up a frame-perfect death. He takes damage from the bomb while he's transitioning into the hole, and it's called a death hole. And so this specific setup allows him to go to the Argus boss room, as you can see right now. Meanwhile, looks like Yoho is tackling Swamp from the front, because he's already went through the middle and unlocked the doors. So it's worth noting that the crystal that Fox just collected was actually the desert crystal, because he did Argus in desert state. And, oh wait, where did Fox even get that hook shot? I missed it. Oh, wow. Fox is just like squarely in the lead. So this hook push that Fox is doing right now... Okay, never mind, I missed it. He went the other way. For whatever reason, he wants to go this way. Oh wait, no, it's because he didn't do Mothula, that's why. But there's another hook push that takes you to the Moth super tile, so he could have duped the crystal that way. But doing this, Fox has completely bypassed the need to have flippers, so Yoho's flipper advantage is now completely gone. Because Fox can just do a YBA in the same door. We see Yoho is mirror dooring, because I'm guessing he didn't have potions, but... Anyway, so both of them are gonna go to Hera. Fox has to kill Moldorm because he hasn't done that yet, but that doesn't matter. He's going to get the Swamp Crystal after that. Okay, so both get the transition at about the same time. And I have to say, Fox is ahead, like, pretty far ahead at this point, actually. Having already done Vidi and the Mire Crystal, and Desert and the Desert Crystal. And gets Moldorm down. He's just gonna Hera pot back to the top to get the Hera prize as well. He already killed Argus, and he's getting the Swamp Crystal right now. And I missed the hook shot, but this has quickly turned into Fox's favor. Oh, hook was on Vitreous. Well, that was extremely fortunate for Fox. He certainly could have completed the game without it, but that speeds things up dramatically. He was able to skip the flippers by doing that hook push in the front door of Swamp. Oh, Fox... Well, let me see, 1, 2, 3. Fox is about to get his 6th crystal. Since he's already defeated Moldorm, he just has to re-enter the room. Meanwhile, Yoho, into Laser Bridge, doesn't have either of the rods. Unfortunately, but... kind of hope for his sake that this is not a crystal. So Fox needs to make a play. For just finding out which crystal. He could rush either boss, but like I don't think either one is necessarily right or wrong. It looks like he's going for TR, because if TR is the crystal, he can quickly go to Agatsu after that. So I understand this decision. If TR is the pendant, on the other hand, he is probably still going to do Agatu, but he will have to go to Skullwoods and kill Mothula. By the way, could we get an audio switch to Fox? Because he's pretty far ahead at this point. Thank you. And he didn't even have to glitch to get to the fight. Man, how boring. Like, this seed just worked out for Fox. Like, it started out that it looked like Yoho had the upper hand by getting the Graveyard Ledge bottle, but everything else just kind of fell into, like, Fox's route. The checks that he decided to do happened to work out for him. His execution has been great. I wouldn't, you know, argue against that, but even this pendant is not gonna set him back at all. It's unfortunate for him, but he knows what he has to do now. And he is just minutes away from completing the seed, like... So right now he's setting up a quadrant glitch. Or, okay, maybe he's gonna do the other room. I'd imagine that's what he's going to do. Now there are two different ways you can get to Agatu from the front of TR. Okay, so he's doing this one. He's setting up a quadrant glitch here, and that, in combined with the north STC, will warp him directly to the Agatu arena. Still has to fight Mothula and get the crystal, but it's good to get this out of the way while you're here, because he's completely done with the mountain. He doesn't have to come back here now after this. Meanwhile, Yoho, not finding anything in Mimic Cave or TR, is thinking about what to do. I really wonder where the other Fire Rod was. Because we know the Ice Rod on Dig Game was not required now. And Fox gets a nice Clipe out of bounds. Speed up the bat cutscene a little bit. Let's see if he drops into Ganon by mistake. I don't think so, but it wouldn't be the first time we've seen that. Nope, saving and quitting. Alright. Alright. Fox is gonna do a simple DMD or Death Mountain Descent. Just arm super speed, clip through, bonk, hold down, you get an auto walk. This, of course, wasn't strictly necessary because he has the glove and hammer, but this is how glitch runners typically access the Dark World. Yep, just going straight for the back. He knows he doesn't need anything. There's really nothing that's worth the time of checking. Not even silvers, because Skullwood's checks are pretty slow for the most part. Well, meanwhile, Yoho not finding anything in TR. Although it may be worth noting that he could have set up a play to upper GT from the front of TR. And if he had a small key, he could have gotten 3 items out of the top. But they're not the quickest checks to do, especially because he would have to hover to get the Moldorm 2 chest. I really am curious where the other Fire Rod is, because this race could have went totally differently. Fox just kind of ran away with it. A very nice, quick moth fight from Fox here. Just a piece of heart, so that 13th heart definitely is not really going to be helpful on Ganon. So, not that he needed assistance for Ganon, but it's the last check of the game for him, so it's worth commenting on. Oh, Yoho into Eastern. This door juke is going to give him his 4th bottle, which is not what he needs right now. Okay, we're getting a North Emote clip, as some people like to call it. Some people call it the river clip. And in the Dark World, this takes you to the top of the pyramid. Alright, into the Ganon fight. We're getting a really nice setup for the 1-1. And yeah, that looks like he got more than the 1-1. That was a lot of hits. You can tell Fox has done this fight a ridiculous amount of times. That was a very clean 1-1. Accidentally getting blue Ganon, though. It happens. Okay, just 12 spins to win here. Nothing I'm sure we haven't seen before. Alright, and Ganon is down for Fox. Yoho is finally making the play to Meyer, but unfortunately, it's too late. Get your GGs in chat for Fox. FoxLisk has finished with an official time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 14 seconds. GG, Fox. Yoho is into Meyer, probably not looking at the race room, I'm guessing. I wouldn't expect... I don't know, it is a little bit early for a finish, although certainly not unheard of. Oh no, Yoho has given Fox a GG, so... I'm just choosing to continue playing, at least for now, which is fine. I'm joined by FoxLisk. GG, Fox.
Howdy, thank you.
Well, that was a very quick time on that seed. Hour 13. Very nicely executed.
Yeah, everything kind of mostly went my way. I ended up doing a couple pendants, but it was just fine. I had Moon Pearl really early, which I assume Yoho did too. and so it was just easy to do everything. And then I made a play into GT at sort of the correct time, and then I had everything, and it was easy.
So Yoho actually did not get the Moon Pearl for quite a long time, actually. He put off Kakariko. Even after finding the flute in GT, he did not immediately go to Kakariko.
That's funny.
I don't think that was what slowed him down in particular, but it was interesting because at the start of the race, he found the first bottle like way before you in Graveyard Ledge, and I don't think you ever went there at all.
No, I didn't. I kept planning to, and it just kept having better stuff to do.
And Yoho also was the first one of you two to get Samaria out of GT because he did a quadrant glitch to Hookshot Cave and followed it up to GT.
Right.
So I mean, I was saying that maybe Samaria might be better to have than the Moon Pearl that he skipped, but after you got the hookshot from Vitreous, though, well, there was no stopping you. Like, you were just gonna clear the rest of the bosses, even not knowing what they were.
Yeah, I mean, I was in go mode even without hookshot, but Swamp was going to be a pain. But then just found hookshot right before I was going to have to start thinking about Swamp anyway.
Yeah, so Yoho hovered Hookshot Cave, and the flippers were in the north chest.
Nice.
And I was saying that was really his main advantage on you, and you getting the hookshot to skip the first room of Swamp totally negated that advantage.
Yeah.
I mean, you were starting to have a lead, but that like kind of cemented it for like Yoho not gonna be able to catch up at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I just like, I mean, I didn't find, like you were saying, Bottles was late, Samaria was late, Hookshot was late, but I was never in the position of having to do bad checks because I didn't have an item until I went to Ganon's Tower and then found everything all at once. So I don't know, it just was all smooth and easy.
Yeah, you were doing a lot of checks like very quickly, and you weren't hindered by it. So it was interesting to watch. And we were joined by Yoho as well. GG, Yoho.
GG's.
So I was talking to Fox about the differences in your routing, how you were kind of late to the Moon Pearl, and how you did have the first bottle way before him. Fox never went to Graveyard Ledge, but the item arrangement just kind of favored Fox's route, as both of you had played very well. I don't know if you guys want to exchange or discuss, but I pretty much.
I mean, I just
Fox
assumed that Fox did Meyer much earlier, and that's the big
No.
difference. No? Really? Oh, so you got
I
Fire Rod
late.
somewhere.
I got a Fire Rod in GT.
Oh, you did
Yeah,
right side or something? Okay.
Yeah. It sounds like my
Fox-
main advantage was Moon Pearl, but I don't know. I just like my routing just ended up working out really easily.
I mean, Moon Pearl didn't really cost me anything. Like, I did one fake flute, but it didn't really matter that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fox did that obnoxious bomb jump in GT and got the Fire Rod, which we weren't sure if it was going to be required or not. But yeah, Yoho did not really do that much Dark World Overworld, which would have slowed him down not having the Moon Pearl. It was just kind of... Although Yoho did have an unfortunate soft lock, but... So that wasted a little bit of time, but... I don't know. It just... I don't know, it maybe just kind of got randoed a little bit. It was... I mean, you both played very well. I just think that the item arrangement had ended up favoring Fox a little bit more. I mean, I thought the flippers were a good advantage for a while until Fox got the hook shot. Like, that just made Swamp, like, really fast for him.
Yeah, basically, just, I mean, I think I was maybe, like, 10 or 15 minutes slower here. I'd be, like, I'm done now. Like, I'm about to get, like, 3 crystals real quick, but, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
the
know,
boss
though.
rush portion of this seed was very, very
Yeah.
fast. You were just gonna slam it out.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I thought the flippers were going to be a pretty good advantage for me too. But yeah, hook showing up in Mire is interesting. So
Yeah, I was starting to sweat the swamp problem because I didn't have hookshot or flippers, and then I was going to do. My plan was to do Mire and then dupe swamp from desert and find out if I needed to do something to worry about swamp or not. And then I just found the hookshot, and then there was nothing to worry about.
Well, with that will bring us to a game 3, which I think the audience will appreciate. Do you guys have any other thoughts about the seed or anything else about the tournament?
I mean, we basically like the hardest thing for me was getting maps and getting the info on what was what. I didn't really want to have to do pendant dungeons, so I was really avoiding stuff. So
I full cleared Eastern and killed Trinex for pendant information. I don't know where the maps were hiding in the seed. I guess they were all in swamp.
there was a map in TR for Mire. That was what basically gave me the last piece of info, and I was going
Nice.
to do Mire then. So
Where did you find your fire rod, if not in GT?
what fire rod? Why would you? I don't need
Oh,
a.
you
we
don't
did
have a
not
fire
see-
rod.
Yeah, I don't need one though because I got the hook, so now I can finish everything.
Oh, right. Oh, that's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, we did not see the second fire rod or the second ice rod. Fox had an ice rod from Dig Game, but because we did not know if that was going to be required or not. The seed was very stingy on the map info.
Yeah.
I mean, even without the hook, it was still finishable, but you had to do some ancient double YBA tech in Swamp to finish it.
Yeah, we saw triple IBA in this tournament from Aka to do Swamp without the hook shot in Swamp State.
Oh, but
But,
Swamp wasn't the
is there a
issue.
way-
It's from Swamp to Skull Woods to be able to kill Moth.
Oh, right. So, yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you get to the back of Skull Woods without the hook pushing or a fire rod?
You can do a double YBA plus a door juke, I think it is, to get to Moth, and then do something else to get the crystal out of Skullwoods. I think there's like a
There's
YBA
a
from
spin
Pinball Room or
YBA,
something.
yeah, that puts you in Hera.
Right.
Well, I'd be interested to take a look at that sometime, because I've had this problem in Seeds where with no fire rod and pendant TR with crystal Skullwoods. So I don't know. I'd be curious to see if there is documentation on that anywhere, but that I find that interesting. But anyways, congratulations, Fox, and good luck to both of you in the next one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
GG's,
thanks.
we'll get it on the schedule. Maybe tomorrow. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for racing. Thank you to Other Tom for tracking. And thank you to T Sigma for setup. And thank you, everyone, for watching. And if I forgot anyone else, thank you as well.